Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Welcome. Believe it or not, I had a very busy Tuesday and I'm just now waking up from a nap. Y'all, I woke up at 11:40, but you know, I have to get ready for what we're doing tonight. But I'm like, damn, girl, I came back into town like around maybe what, 6 something. And honey, I walked my babies, came back before you know it. Honey, I took that nap, and here we go. Bitch, midnight. But it's okay though, because bitch, a bitch is still going to sleep. A bitch don't have no problem sleeping, and a bitch don't mind sleeping. Okay, but I'm still going to bed when I'm done with this, what I'm doing with y'all, and then I got to do some work. So, of course, before we jump into this is a live Midnight Metro. Come on here, E-Pick. How you doing, E-Pick? How you doing? Come on here, Joey Donardo. Yes, honey, and Jay. Yes, honey. What y'all doing? Yes, honey. Y'all bright and early, honey, huh? Yes, huh? First come, first serve. We love that. We're currently in the magical hour of Mercury. And of course, you guys know I'm a Gemini. So this is the perfect time to come out and to communicate and to do what we're doing now. Mercury is a very mysterious, magical planet. And, anywho, it's okay. Shh, 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 shh. Baby. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear my background, honey. Listen, we're about to get into something, okay? We're about to get into some things, okay? So let's jump right into it. Okay, first we have to go ahead and play the promo. Why not? Why not? Let's do this right. Yes, honey. Do it right and keep it tight. Alrighty, where is my little clippy clip?
Listening to Midnight Metanoia 555 podcast with Mystic Persia. This is a brand new episode. Stay tuned to hear about this exciting but mysterious case.
We're gonna play that one more time. I did not turn the music off in time.
Listening to Midnight Metanoia 555 podcast with Mystic Persia. This is a brand new episode. Stay tuned to hear about this exciting but mysterious case.
So here at Midnight Metanoia, because there's so many missing cases out there, right? So many missing people. I would love for you guys to send me cases that are mysterious and unsolved. And I would prefer the old ones because, of course, the newer ones, I just feel like it's too fresh. And on top of that, these people had recently just experienced loss. And we're not saying that anyone's loss is greater than the next person, but we are saying there are people that are missing people for 40, 50, 60, 70 years, hell, even 100 years. The people have been missing for 100 years and have not been found. So, I would prefer to stick to those cases, like I said, mysterious cases. So if you know of any cases, definitely you can always send me an email. And I need to make an email only for the Midnight Metanoia podcast. Wouldn't that be amazing? But you can currently email me at 28spirit8mystic8@gmail.com. And I will definitely get into that. Now, of course, tonight's episode is just, I've heard of this um few years back. I won't even say this is on Unsolved Mysteries. Like back in the day. Anybody know about Unsolved Mysteries? Son? Y'all know I loved that show. Anybody who knows me could testify. I loved Unsolved Mysteries, and this was amazing. That show was amazing. And of course, the original um director. Damn, I can't remember his name. I want to call him Bob or yeah, I want to call him Bob, but anyway, I know that's not his name. Anyway, so either we're gonna jump into this. I want to keep this very short, very frank, and I'm even gonna tell y'all what is coming up. Like I said, I've heard of this case, but I literally was like, "Oh my god, I've not done a Midnight Metanoia in a couple of weeks." So let's just jump into something. Let me just pull something random. And of course, this beautiful young girl came up. And of course, um, I'm always about the children. Okay. I love the children. Okay. Elder and older. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Younger and elder. How about that? Okay. So, oh, I don't like that. Hold on. Oh, they did. Okay, there we go. Never mind. Okay. So, before we get into this, we are going over the mysterious disappearance of Aisha Jakila Degree. Okay. And I'm a person that I feel like names mean something. I feel like names have tell a story about your past, your present, and your future. And of course, you may not believe this, but all the names you've had, even the nicknames you're having in this life, if you're someone that got married and changed your name, it's a part of your story and tells different aspects of you. So even going into this name being, as powerful and strong as it is, um, like I said, it's so amazing. Um, Sad, but yet amazing. Anyway, so August 5th, 1990 is when Asha Jakila Decree was born. She went missing at the age of 9 from Shelby, North Carolina. Shout out to people out there in Shelby, North Carolina. I believe I know like one or two persons out there, or they're from there originally. And I believe some of you know them too. Anyway, in the early morning hours of February 14th, 2000, and this was Valentine's Day, honey. This is what's even sad. For reasons unknown, she packed her book bag, left her family home north of the city, and began walking along nearby North Carolina Highway 18. Despite heavy rain and wind, several passing motorists saw her when one turned around at a point 1.3 miles from her home and began to approach her. She left the roadside and ran into a wooded area. In the morning, her parents discovered her absence. No one has seen her since. Okay. I want to say this. Something comes up with this. Um, Something comes up. And I'm seeing something when an older man. Before I even get into pulling energy as I'm reading this, like I said, when I look at people's pictures, when I look at people's, story, honey, when it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, honey, let me jump in and let me see, what exactly is going on. Because sometimes when I'm doing these cases, I'm getting so much energy on this situation. It could be people, placing shit on this thing. Yeah, but the last time we saw this person, they were at here, 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 and that's what's coming up. But with her, instantly, there's something with an older man that's a friend of the family. Um, I'm even seeing something with like I want to say a city on top of the mountain. Um, Kind of like a you got to go up a highway that goes up like a hill. There you go, hilltop. You go up on this hill, and to the side you're seeing like um what do you call that? I won't say weeds, but a dry grass area. I'm getting something with a grocery store. I feel like someone have seen her in a grocery store as well. Um, and this is a very small convenience store. Even going into um where she is at or where she was at, because I do feel like she is deceased. Um, this person or this place the person who instructed her or orchestrated her to come out, it has a lot of people in this house. There's a lot of women. I'm seeing a lot of women. I'm seeing a lot of in that at that time, I'm seeing a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of girls, and I almost say that this connects to even going into Slender Man. This is like a very Slender Man story, right? Although Slender Man was this thing like kind of like what do you call it? There's just so much stuff coming up right now. Slender Man and Candyman, you know, this image of something, and I think we had a class on it, so I talked about exactly who Slender Man is. Okay, there's actually an ancient spirit. Okay, if you took Art of Conjure, we go over what angelic being, okay, what mysterious energy that represents. But this is definitely a cult in a way, meaning taking and kidnapping and willingly, luring people who are already on the run, luring them into a safe place, and them never be found. Okay. It says that an intensive search that began the day led to the location of some of her personal effects near where she was last seen. A year and a half later, her book bag steel pack was unearthed from a construction site along Highway 18 north of Shelby in Morganton. I want to click on First, I want to click on Shelby, and I just kind of want to get acquainted with the area. Okay. Um, and then going into Morganton, very small city, very small city. At the point where she ran into the woods, a billboard now stands appealing for help finding her. Her family hosts the annual walk from their home to the billboard to draw attention in the case. While the circumstances of Degree's disappearance at first seemed to suggest she was run away from home, investigators could not find a clear reason she might have done so. She was younger than most children who do. They speculated that she might have been abducted instead. The case have drawn national media attention. In 2015, the Federal Bureau of Investigation joined the state and county authorities and reopened the investigation, offering a reward for information that could help solve this case. So, of course, just a little background before I go into, where it talks about disappearance. We kind of lightly went over that, but it may go into some more detail. And of course, I tell you, we use Wikipedia because, of course, Wikipedia, kind of have all the information right there, right, all in one spot. We don't got to go dig in. And if you guys want to, you guys should definitely go dig in and look for stuff. But either way, Harold and Aquila Degree married on Valentine's Day, 1988. That is so amazing that she went missing on the anniversary of anyway, I feel like I'm jumping the gun, but that's so amazing right there. Their son O'Brien was born a year later. Asha was born in 1990. 2 years later. Amazing. Second born child born um 2 years after your marriage on Valentine's Day. The Degrees raised both children in their house on Oakcrest Drive in a residential subdivision amidst a general rural area north of Shelby, North Carolina, on the western edge of the Charlotte metropolitan area. Both worked regular jobs nearby. The children let themselves in after school, where their parents expected that they would either be doing their homework or finished with it by the time they returned. They made sure that their children were insulated from outside influences and had a life centered, not self centered, a life centered around their extended family, church, and of course, school. The Degrees did not have a computer in the house. Uh, yeah, and the girl. I mean, what average American had a computer in the house? You know what I mean? Like in the 90s and the 2000s. Like, girl, d- there's just a lot of stuff that's put out there meant to throw people off, and I believe it worked. I believe it worked up until this point. I definitely believe it worked. Every time you turn on the TV, there was a pedophile, some pedophile who had lured somebody's child away via the internet. Akila recalled in 2013 Jet interview, Akila said Asha handled this well. She was cautious, shy, and content mostly to stay within the limits of her parents' set. She was scared to death of dogs. She recalled years later, I never thought she would go out of the house because she was lured. That's why. And I do feel like this man, um, she knows this man. I do feel like this man, and he's hiding in plain sight. I do feel. I feel like there's a sense of safety, um, with this whole thing. And I would even go as far as saying the witness that claimed that they saw her walking 1.3 miles from the house because it did not make it clear it was from the if it was from Aisha's house or the witness house. I will even go as far as to saying that um that person was, planted to give that witness, to give that eye encounter, quote unquote. And remember, everything's alleged until proven otherwise. Okay. Aisha was in the fourth grade at nearby Falston Elementary School, going into a 3-day weekend on the second week of February 2000. How ironic is that this yeah, how ironic is that? Okay. The Cleveland County schools were closed on Friday, February the 11th, while the degrees still had to work. The children spent the day at their aunt's house at the same neighborhood from which they went to their youth basketball practice at their school. The following day, Aisha's basketball team, on which she was a star pointed guard, lost its first game of the season. Asha had fouled. Hold on. Asha had found out. Her parents recalled that she was somewhat upset about this, crying along with her teammates afterwards, but seemed to have gotten over it and watched her brother's game afterwards. So I know you guys are not eluding that this 9-year-old girl was so upset about her loss that she was like, I gotta go. It's time for me to pack my bags and get the hell up out of here. Like, girl, there's some foolery going on here, and I'm not too excited about it. On February 13th, a Sunday, the children went to church from a relative's house and they returned home. Around 8 p.m. that night, both children went to bed in a room they shared. Almost an hour later, the power went out in the neighborhood after a nearby car accident. What are the odds of this? The power came back on at 12:30 a.m., at which time Harold checked on his children and saw both Aisha and O'Brien asleep in their beds. He checked again shortly before he went to bed at 2:30 a.m. on February 14th and again saw them both. Hmm. Shortly after O'Brien, then age 10, recalls hearing Asha's bed squeak. He did not further ruse himself as he assumed she was merely changing position in her sleep. Apparently, around this time, Aisha got out of bed, taking a book bag she had previously packed with several sets of clothes and personal items, and left the house between 3:45 and 4:15 a.m. And this is unusual for this little girl to even do this, right? Allegedly. Like, this is just like how ironic that the same time that there is a 3-day vacation, right? A 3-day weekend because the school, you know what I mean? The school did not, they let out on the 11th, right? They did not have school on the 11th. So 11, 12, basically, they would have to return back to school on the 14th. How ironic is that she first of all, an accident happens the night they come back from the relative's house, which put electricity out in the house nearby. What type of divine intervention witchery shit is going on there? And then just so happen it happens, you know, it happens around 9 p.m. on a Sunday, okay? And then 3.5 hours later, the accident happened an hour after they got home at 8 o'clock. 3.5 hours, and I just feel like there's a lot of stuff missing here. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff missing here. What about supper? What about I mean, I just don't. There's just a lot of stuff missing here for me. And the power came back on at 12:30. Like I said, 3.5 hours later, at which the dad checked on his children and saw them both in bed. I mean, is it usual for these kids to get up and to leave out the house? Because usually when the powers and stuff go out, and there's no shade here, because I was once a kid, okay? When the power and stuff would go out, honey, we would panic. We'll get up and go in the room. My mom, I mean, that was just us. So I'm just like, this is a little odd that these 9-year-olds and this 10-year-old, um, the power goes out, I mean, like I said, maybe because they were asleep. We were going to say that. Maybe because they were asleep and they did not realize the power out, and the father being awake, which is a little different too, a little weird too, that he will be awake. Okay. A little odd. He'll be awake. He decided to go check on his children just so happened when the power comes back on. Once again, not when the power was off. Okay. It doesn't say right here that um 3.5 hours. I mean, what was he doing in 3.5 hours? I mean, let's keep it real here. What was Harold doing in 3.5 hours? You know what I mean? When the lights went out, once again, he probably was sleeping. We're gonna say that too, probably was sleeping. But how ironic did this light come back on in the wee hours of the night, and Harold is up to go check on his kids? How ironic is that? And then he decided to go check on his children again a little bit after that. It's just the timing is just a little off, and this could be guesstimation too. Maybe it was like at 12:22 the lights came back on. Maybe he went to go check on them at 1:35. Who knows? But I just find that this is a little weird that this shit is happening like this. Okay, he checked again shortly before 2:30 on the 14th. Like I said, this is the anniversary of Harold and Akila getting married. How weird would that be? And I don't know if people have questioned this, but this is just a little too much for me. And then the son hears the bed squeaking. He did not make. I mean, this sound like this story was. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Midnight metanoia. Okay, this is a spiritual insight on what is going on. Was this story rehearsed to the son? Because something is not coming. Something is not sounding right. This just sound prefabricated. This just sound free. I mean, girl, just something ain't sounding right with this at all. Just no way, shape, or form. Like, girl, this is just not right. And like I said, going into this 10-year-old, recalling that he hears her bed, but he did not further ruse himself, honey. In the middle of the night, you're hearing noises like, girl. And a 10-year-old boy is very curious. Boys are more curious than girls, in fact. Okay. And he heard this noise and oh, yeah, I heard it, but I didn't want to further roost myself. This just sounds like this story is just, like I said, rehearsed on this whole situation. It doesn't sound right to me. Um, and of course, it says that apparently around that time, okay, Asha got out of her bed, taking a book bag that she had previously packed with several sets of clothes and personal items, and left the house. So when did she pack this bag? And when did they know that she previously packed the bag? I mean, let's talk about it. So this girl is 9 years old and her parents have to work. Okay, we know this. But what happened between the 11th and Monday morning, okay, that she had no adult supervision to where they were not, and even going into the 10-year-old brother, he didn't, say, "Hey, what you doing, Asha?" "Hey, you packing the bag?" Like, girl, it just doesn't sound right at all. And I'm sorry I keep saying that, but this, like I said, this is my first time actually rereading this after years of hearing about this, and it's like it's not making sense at all. And this happened between 3:45 and 4:15 in the morning, and I'm even curious to know, and I'm gonna pull this up right now because I'm curious to know what time did the sun rise and set in Shelby, um, North Carolina on February the 14th? 2000. I'm curious to know. Okay, so it said the sun rose at 7:14 a.m. So mysteriously, this 9-year-old girl would go missing between 3:45 and 4:15. Okay, that's about a good 30 minutes. Okay, she have 30. They're saying within this time frame. They're not sure the exact time. And just so happened, this is 3 hours, y'all. Now I want y'all to understand this. This is 3 hours before the sun comes up. Okay, that means the sun is peeking through the sky, and now you can see light outside. How ironic is that this 9-year-old girl would be able to pre-calculate this? Like, this just doesn't sound. A truck driver and a motorist saw her walking. Oh, it says a truck driver and a motorist saw her walking along Highway 18, wearing a long sleeve white t-shirt and white pants. Hmm. Just north of its junction with Highway 180. They reported this to police after seeing a TV report about her disappearance. The motorist said that he turned his car around because he thought it was strange that such a small child would be out by herself at that hour. He circled 3 times and saw the debris run into the woods by the roadside and disappeared. So the woman saw her and the guy saw her, and mine just said that it was storming. Okay, it was a rainy night and it was a storm raging. So now people got special abilities to see people in a pouring down rain while they're driving down a highway, a busy highway. Let me see what it said. The conjunction of 180 and 18. So, oh, there's a lot of highways there, and you know what? Yeah, this is trafficking. This is trafficking. And I really, really encourage the FBI and all this, and they probably already looked into it because it's been 20 something years, but who knows? Because sometimes they don't really fully investigate the way they should, the way they say they'll be investigating. But I really do feel like they need to investigate this truck driver because it kind of reminds me of what's going on right now. We have a shortage of items, allegedly, but we got all these damn truckers on the damn highway. It took me normally it would take me an hour to get somewhere, and today it took me an hour and 40 freaking minutes because you had all these damn truck drivers on the freeway. And I really wanted to, honk at these people and say, excuse me, we have shortages going on. What are you all transporting in the back of your damn trucks? Because it looks a little suspicious to me. And we know about going into the history of the coyotes. Anybody know about coyotes? Coyotes are people that are hired to pull people illegally across the border, and usually it's in human trafficking situations. Okay, so it just seems a little odd to me that we're in the middle of whatever the hell we're going through, and all these truckers are coming up, right? Everybody's a trucker now. Allegedly, we're all truckers. Hey, hey, we're starting a trucking business with our PPP loans and shit. But it's like, girl, it's so weird that we have a shortage and y'all all on the road. So it's like, what's going on? FBI's, law enforcement, can y'all pull these people over and see what's going on? Because, like I said, I do feel like this is something strange. Like I said, you definitely want to check out that trucker. Okay, the trucker that allegedly called in and said that he saw her, and even going into the motorist that said that she saw her too. Because first it said that she saw, now they're saying that he circled her 3 times and saw degree. And what do you mean circle 3 times, ma'am? I mean, sir, ah, we need to see what's going on here because just something ain't sounding right. This just makes me uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. County Sheriff Dan Crawford said, we're pretty sure it was her because the description they gave us are consistent with what they know she was wearing. He added that they also saw her at the same place heading the same direction. Now, this one gets a little creepy. Ooh, for me. Akila awoke at 5:45 a.m. What's up with all these 45s and 15s and 30s? And why is it so pre-calculated? I mean, what's going on? Even going into the fact is that Mama went missing at the age of 9. Oh God, come on in here. At the age of 9, walking south along Highway 18, which comes out to 9, And she also was wearing all white, like like Virgin Mary. We know that white in spirituality stands for innocence, virginity. Okay, this was some type of call. I'm seeing that this was some type of call, honey. Going into Highway 180, going into, like I said, 9 again. This was some type of call, some type of when I say call, that means, honey, she's gonna be walking along this, wearing this, that. Like I said, the trucker needs to be pulled in, the father needs to be pulled in. These are energies that are coming up right now. Going into the understand that a woman also saw her on the highway as well. But somebody's not talking about a convenience store. Somebody's not talking about a convenience store, honey. It's a store that I'm seeing with all these little not walk-in freezers, but stand-up freezers. Okay. They report this police. Okay, I already read that. He added that they also saw at the same time. Okay, where is that? Akila awoke at 5:45 a.m. to get the children ready for school on the morning of February 14th, an important day since it was not only Valentine's Day but also the degree's wedding anniversary. Wow, this involved drawing a bath for them because they had not been able to take one the night before due to the power outage. Wait, so the story says that wait a minute, let's get into this because that yeah. So the story says up here around 8 p.m. that night, both children went to bed. They shared. Almost an hour later, the power went out. So the power went out an hour after, and maybe this is just Wikipedia. We're going to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is just Wikipedia getting the story mixed up. But they went to bed an hour before the power went out, ma'am. So how was it not able to take a bath if the power went out? I'm just a little confused here. When she opened the children's room to wake them up before 6:30 a.m. and call them to the bath, so she woke up at 5:45 to get the kids ready for school. This is what, 45 minutes before goes into the number 9 again, even 6:30 goes into the number 9. This is very, very ritualistic by nature. And this is just really, really crazy to me. And called them to the bath. O'Brien was in his bed. Asha was not, and Akila was unable to find her in the house or in the family cars. Why would a 9-year-old girl be in a car? Is it normal for people out there in Shelby, North Carolina, to be in a car? And what I want to know too, what was she looking at for her in the car? I mean, was it she did? They didn't say exactly what part of the car. Was it the trunk? Were you looking at her? I mean, in the hood. I mean, what's really going on here? Okay. She told Harold that she could not find their daughter. He suggested Asha might have gone over to his mother's house across the street. When Akila called there, her sister in law said Asia was not there. What the what in the world? What in the girl? This is too much. This is whew. This is too much right here. That's when I went into panic mode. I heard a car next door. I put shoes and ran outside. Akila called her mother, who told her to call the police. Okay. Something sounds a little fishy, okay, to me. I'm finding it very, very hard that there's a lot of nines, a lot of sixes, okay, a lot of halves, and quarters. There's just a lot of stuff here. She wore all white. She had a pre-packed bag. Later on a construction site, they found her bag. So once again, there was some time. It was just like I said, this just doesn't sound right to me. Going into, the power going out an hour after these two beautiful children go to bed, and mysteriously, they were not able to take a bath the night before because the power went out. So, did they mean to say the power went out at 8 p.m.? They went to bed at 9 p.m. and the father wanted to check up on them? Or once again, is the story just not making sense because it's a made up story? And I don't know. Like I said, it just things does not sound right to me, and I'm very very uncomfortable um, with this whole tea. And the hour is now 1:15, so that means we need to definitely jump into the energy of this tea. And of course, because we're live, I want to also pull my cards to see what energy is around this. And then hopefully, if there's any guests in the chat right now, hopefully, my beautiful guests that are in the chat, yes, honey, maybe they have some questions to go on with this AD situation. It's very, very mysterious, if you ask me. And once again, I do feel like wherever Aisha was at, because once again, I do not feel like Aisha is alive, but whatever happened, is more girls there. There's more girls in this place where Aisha's at, or where she was at, and I'm thinking of that present moment. And so anyway, very, very weird. Okay. So I kind of want to just pull the energy around. And like I said, if my people are in here, we're going to check. I want to see what questions they have. So let's see. Mm, okay. Okay. It becomes very, very clear. Very, very clear. So three cards come up here. And once again, I use cards as tools to interpret what I'm feeling. So it doesn't just appear that I'm talking out of my ass. Because even though things are presented, people may still say, this bitch is talking out of ass. And that's fine. I don't really care. I stand on what I say. And I don't, say things to make people agree with what I say. Okay. Well, there's three very, very powerful, potent energies that are very prominent in this situation. And the first card that came up was a older male card, and he is the king of clubs. This is a fire sign man. Okay. He's a Leo, he's an Aries, he's a Sagittarius. I also feel like this man has feminine qualities. I'm not going to say this man is a homosexual. I'm going to say this man is just very much in tune with himself. Okay. His emotional side, he's very expressive in the way he talks, the way he walks. When he gets to that point, okay, I do sense a little bit of shyness there, kind of act like he's not wanting to be the center of attention. Self-centeredness, probably why self-centered came up again when we were talking about life-centered earlier. Okay. Well, this man definitely is a older man, okay? And he is a very happy and faithful man. So this man is a married man. I do feel like this male is a father. And if he's not her father, here's a father figure. Okay. Now the three other cards that come in, or two other cards that come in, which I'm kind of shocked by, not really, but I am, because once again, my feelings sometimes when I'm pulling the cards does not match what the cards are saying. When I say feelings, what I'm sensing, the cards do not depict what I'm sensing, and that's why, anyway, I'll set it for another day. Anyway, so we have the three of diamonds, okay, and this talks about some type of fight. Okay, so there's something that these people, Aquila and Harold, are not talking about. There's some type of issue, and I do feel like if something comes up right now with protection, I'm seeing protection right now, but I do feel like things were not told to keep people safe, right? So stories were not told. Some stories were told. That's why it just seems so bland. So we had nothing to do. Just so happened we went to sleep. And let's say what happened up to that point. Like I said, alluding that this 9-year-old girl was like, I'm not happy because I lost. I fouled out the game, and poor me. Everyone's going to think that I'm a loser. And it's just like, girl, stop it. Okay. Whoever came up with that story, Harold, Aquila, allegedly, please stop it. Okay. It's time to come forward and tell your truth and be honest, because I know it's eating you up alive. Okay. I know it's eating you up. Even going into three of diamonds, there's something circulating with hours. There's something circulated with minutes. So even going into that, I do feel like something around 12 o'clock happened even more different, okay? Because the number four comes up next to this. I'm thinking, they're not thinking, I'm feeling that there's something with that, okay? They had to, she went in there at 6:30 to wake them up. Allegedly, he go to bed at 2:30, so that's a 4 hour difference. The number four does come up after that, which is the four of hearts. So this is telling me around 12:30 to 1:15, once again something happened that Aquila, Harold, and O'Brien are aware of. And I hope that O'Brien, because O'Brien is a grown man right now, I hope that he comes out and he also really, really tell the truth of what he felt and what he saw. Okay. Going into the four of hearts, okay. We're dealing with some um people, somebody witnessing exactly what happened, but they're not really coming forward to talk about it just yet. I do feel like this energy is O'Brien, okay? And there is someone else as well, but I definitely feel this energy represents O'Brien. O'Brien witnessed something. There's something that was told to him to protect the situation, okay? And O'Brien has not spoken about this. Once again, everything is alleged to proven otherwise. I'm only telling you what I'm sensing and feeling spiritually, okay? Going even into the hearts, we're dealing with days, okay? 4 days prior to this, right? The Son of Monday said 4 days prior would be what? Thursday going into Friday. So it'd be very interesting to even know what happened Thursday, right? Before the school even let out. What type of conversations did Asha had with anyone? Okay. I do feel like this is a personal situation. I don't get any senses of, friends, fathers of the friends. I don't sense that. I do sense this is something immediate. I do feel like even the person who abducted Aisha, because that's what it was, honey, making someone do something, lure someone against their will, right? And even against their will means that they don't know exactly what's going on. Okay, you telling somebody, hey, there's a party on the corner of 15th and 13th, right? And they get there and there's no party, honey, that's abduction too. Because you lured them. You lured them and you have to think there was something else going on and it wasn't going on. And see, that's what, oh, that just makes me so uncomfortable. Once again, I do feel like O'Brien, the brother, holds the secret to all this stuff, okay? And I do feel like even going into this male figure, okay? This male figure needs to be questioned. The truck driver needs to be questioned too. You circled her 3 times before she ran into the woods. 369? Hello? You circled her 3 times, okay? At the conjunction of 18 and 180 in the raining, pouring, stormy down wee hours of the morning when the sun hasn't even come up yet. So how amazing that you guys see this little girl, okay, in the nighttime with all white. Is y'all saying she had an all white because it was easy to spot her? Is that what's going on here? Well, now we making up shit because it's easier to spot people with all white in the middle of fucking night. I mean, what's going on here? And I'm being very honest. I'm being very upfront. Okay, I think that the father, I think that O'Brien, I think that the truck driver needs to be brought in for more questioning. Okay, because there's something very shady with this. Okay, now I want to see. Okay, if there's anyone in the chat, come on here, Larry. How you doing? Yes, honey. You too, Larry. Yes, very much a ritual, honey. Her pigtails. Oh my God. You're born in Matthews, North Carolina. Oh, I see wet grass when I read her name. I don't know why. Okay. Definitely. Definitely, honey. Yeah, definitely. They said she ran into a wooded area. They're not really going into the description of this all, Joey, but I'm seeing high grass. So I'm seeing a highway and I need to zoom in. I need to see exactly what's along the highway on the side. Is there a divider? Is it just an open prairie? But I'm seeing very, very tall grass right before the wooded area. Okay. And so definitely, like I said, that definitely will not be invalid. You're not that you're seeing that, okay? Yes, tapping into the spirit. We're coming here pigtails. Oh, I know. It's so sad, huh? I know, I know, I know. I know. Come on in, Larry. Thanks for stopping by, Larry. So listen, this is what I want to do. I want to go into energies that's not being discussed. I was hoping that maybe my people would have questions on here, but that's okay. Let's see what energies, okay, are not being discussed around this situation. There's definitely something with money. I do feel like there's something with money here. And once again, protection of someone. Okay. And even when I was telling you guys, I'm seeing something with the dialogue between Akila, the mother, and O'Brien. Okay. And, I'm just going to keep that there. Okay. Because I don't want to, spew any more confusion onto it. It's just like I said, a lot of stuff is just not making sense. What is being read, but energetically, see that comes up again. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Ooh. I'm getting really real chills here. So I did a 9 card spread. The first 3 cards is the past, the next 3 cards is the present, and the following 3 cards are the future. Okay. So Ace of Hearts is the first card that comes up in the past. Okay. So, of course, going into the hearts. Okay. Hearts literally deal with domestics, it literally deals with home, friendship, right? Matters of the heart. This also deals with water. Energy, emotions, okay. Going into Ace of Hearts, once again, this is a love card. This is a marriage card. This is definitely things being, you know, okay, possibly, right? If this card was only put by some things are being nice, blah, 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 whatever. But the next card next to that is the 3 of Hearts, okay, which is a surprise card, okay. Sometimes this entails and talks about a third person being involved, kind of like a, infidelity situation, right? But this is definitely a surprise card, a good surprise card by that. Um Going into the final card, which is the 5 of Hearts, this deals with a little bit of unwavering depositions, okay? This deals with a little bit of, not being sure, not really knowing where your place is at, where you stand with all this stuff. So this is possibly when things start to get a little shaky with this whole situation, okay? Going into the next card, we have the Ace of Spades, okay? This is speaking of a loss. Once again, I feel like Aisha is gone. She's not alive. And this is the funeral card, okay? Going into the next card after that, because of course, when there's 2 types of cards next to each other that has the same type of meaning, or excuse me, let's say let's say 2 of Hearts, 2 of Clubs. Their spirit's really trying to get us to focus in on this. So we have the 2 of Spades, or excuse me, the Ace of Spades, which is also the B card. Okay. The B, literally the B, BEE. And then we also have the Ace of Diamonds. Ace of Diamonds is money, y'all. This is a letter of money. This is a business move. Okay. This is definitely something that was premeditated and definitely have money attached to it. Okay. Going into the 9 of Spades. Okay. This is a very bad, bad card. Okay. And this is what's depicting. Okay. Once again, that this is connected to a lot of other stuff. I told you, I feel like there's other people missing. And the crazy thing about it, before I jumped into reading this story, okay, I'm seeing Aisha in this place with all these other women and children. But the crazy thing about it is, I don't see any other people of color. Okay. I'm seeing white children or people that appears to be white. I'm seeing people that appear to be Hispanic. Okay. I even see some Asian children. Okay. But I'm definitely not seeing any other woman of carbon. Okay. Deep carbon. We're going to call her deep carbon. Okay. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Going into the next row of cards, which is the future. What is to come? And just so happen, the King of Clubs is in the future slot. Just so happen, honey, this father figure. So the first card that comes up is the Five of Diamonds, a large lump sum of money. Then the dad energy is next to that. That is depicting to me human trafficking. This is depicting to me that Aisha was sold. There was money connected to Aisha missing. And this is not a victim witness type of thing. This is money being paid out to this male figure for Aisha. Okay. Going into the next card, which is the Nine of Clubs. Amazing. Now, this card means do not make any changes. But unfortunately, y'all, no, we're going to say fortunately, this is still under investigation. They're not even talking about it. They are still watching. Um, Once again, this is all alleged to have proven otherwise. This is what I'm seeing and this is what I'm sensing spiritually. They're still watching the men involved, the men that they believe, okay, are not really being honest. Okay. And of course we know when, they cannot arrest people unless they have, evidence that they committed these crimes. But definitely I do feel like this male energy is gonna make some changes. And that's when it's gonna be exposed who did away with Aisha degree. I hate to say this because, they already get bad energy attached to them when it comes to, you know, Masonic and, Ishmishian type of stuff. They get so many bad, oh my God, y'all. And, going into my family being Masonic, it's just going to get bad raps, nowadays. Back in the day, they didn't get bad raps, girl. They were respected, they were loved, they were adored, adorned, all that good stuff. But now, honey, it's just, oh, girl, the Masons are demonic. Now, just like Christianity, they have positive and they have negative. You have some Christians out there that are committing crimes in the name of Jesus and the Holy Spirit and the Father God. And the same thing with this. So I do feel like this is definitely very Masonic. I feel like this is definitely ritualistic. This is definitely a part of human trafficking. Once again, even like I said, going into this, seeing all these truckers on the highway, and where I'm just like, what's going on in the back of these diesels? You know what I mean? What's really going on? Um, Yes, honey. Rest in power. Really, 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 really unfortunate, y'all. Really, really unfortunate. Um, let's see. I want to pull one more card. So I told you I want to keep this Midnight Metanoia under 30 minutes, y'all, but that's probably never gonna happen. Okay. I want to just pull one more last um pull some energy one last time. Okay. To see exactly once again what is to be revealed um in the up and coming, what is to be revealed in the future. Once again, it's going to come out about this male figure. Once again, them watching him and watching his moves. Okay, watching his moves. And this is very sad, y'all. This is very sad. This is very, very sad. Once again, y'all, when it comes to, asking myself questions, honey, girl, I ain't that one. But anyway, so I'm gonna leave that there. Okay. I do feel like they do know exactly what happened to Aisha. There's a secret being kept about this. I do feel like a father figure to her. Okay. definitely knows what happened to her because he was paid for her. Going into the story, I'm getting hiccups and shit. Excuse me. Going into the story of um the mother, saying what happened when she woke them up, et cetera, et cetera. I just feel like there's this, these are premeditated, fabricated stories, honey. Okay. Very, very made up. Okay. And it will also come to the light. I believe that a lot of the stories that I talk about, or all the stories I'm going to be talking about, will have some type of light shared on it when this is all said and done. I told y'all before, um, I told y'all before Midnight Metanoia and why I wanted to do Midnight Metanoia. Okay. And if you don't remember that, we can revisit this, okay? So I've always been, into the mysteries, right? What what is being done that we cannot see with our physical eyes, right? Even going into me being a dreamer, or what we call a dream walker. I see things in the other realms, right? On the realms that runs along our realm. Okay. And we're actually going to do a class on that. But either way, um, I just feel like when spirit put things on my heart, things are being brought to the light, or things are about to make a change in this situation. And we talked about stuff, right? We talked about things. And of course, this have nothing to do with, you know what? I'll say that for another thing. But anyway, usually, like I said, when spirit give me things to talk about, things come up. And then just so happen when I have the conversation about this with like my sisters or with you guys, mysteriously the news shows something about it or somebody else bring it up and it's just like what the fuck? And even sometimes where I'm blown away, like how's that like how would this even happen? Like I don't believe in coincidences and I do believe in coincidences, but not in the sense of what people think a coincidence is. Coincidence to me is coinciding. So when there's synchronicity with a situation, then you will notice a coincidence, right? Oh my God, such a coincidence. So this is spirit acknowledging synchronicity with that experience or with that situation, amongst them. So it's just so ironic, right? That things come up when they come up and just so happen, you know, bam. I told y'all something. Well, I believe I told y'all we were going to do another Midnight Metanoia last week. Something came up. I was going to tap into a California situation. And literally, when I was about to tap into this California situation, because I had this conversation with another sister of mine, I go look at that story before I get on here to do Midnight Metanoia, and this is why we just did Aisha Degree. And that story, they already found the little boy. Now, of course, I didn't click on to see if the little boy is, was he found, you know, um, deceased or living. But I was just like, that is so fucking crazy. And like I said, I don't know if that's Google doing it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Google add later stories. I don't know. But it's just like I said, it's just so ironic that literally it'd be a Monday and I'll say, "Oh my God, why did I see A, B, C, D, E, F, G?" And then all of a sudden, Google brings up something that relates to that, right? And like I said, it could be a missing person cases, it could be a crime of a celebrity. It's crazy. But even going into midnight or the word meta noia, okay, it is to change in one's way of life resulting from penitence or spiritual conversion. I also do feel like metanoia also deals with um, things being revealed, right? Things being shown to you from the heart space. I do feel that. Okay. Oh my God, y'all. And I feel so drained right now, honey. It's happening to that tea. Oh, excuse me. So listen, I'm going to end this live because, of course, it's the midnight metanoia. And I'm gonna come back, okay, if you don't mind. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna have just a regular old, conversation, very lightly, politely. and we're going to keep it moving. I appreciate your love and support for those of you who came in this early morning, late night, depends on where you're at, and to kind of share with me, you know, my insight on things. And of course, you can always hit me up at 28spirit8mystic8 at gmail.com if you want insight on the situations you're dealing with, right? Whether it is personal or you're curious about it, okay? And of course, depending on the situation, okay, and how we have to go about it, okay? Okay, hello? There may be a fee involved, okay? Either way, definitely check out the blog twospiritmystic.blogspot.com, and I will definitely catch you guys on the next video very, very soon. Ow. Bye for now. Love and light.